Welcome back, friends, to another Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia video. Lids87 here, and today I am bringing you guys another Are They Worth It video, a series where I cover units on upcoming banners to see if they are worth your precious tickets and or gems. Before I get into it though, friends, please remember to hit that like and subscribe button, and shoutouts where shoutouts are due, because without these wonderful resources, there would be no stats to show you guys, there would be no content to show you. So to the database, the materia bot, into the compendium, those wonderful links will be down below in the description to these amazing resources if you guys would like to just use them for yourselves or just to read what said characters do with these resources. All right, thank you very much for what you guys do for the community. Now, on December 11th, UTC time, we will be getting the Red-Headed Turk event, and that's going to see Reno introduced to the global side of the game. Now, as you guys see, just go right to the middle, just a little bit up and to the right, you're going to see Mog right there, Winter Mog, and it does say first multi-draw will be free on this banner. Speaking about the banner, here it is. Reno will be, again, debuting into the game, EX weapon, 1535 CP weapon, and an LD weapon. Lightning will be featured on here, just her burst weapon, and synergy characters for this is going to be Rosa and General Leo. So if you guys haven't picked up those units, this is another spot to do so. So let's go ahead and take a look to see what Reno is going to be introducing to the global side of the game. Now, those of you not familiar with Reno, Reno is a thunder mailing attacking debuffer. He can help shut down physical enemies by reducing their physical stats. He also has delay built into his kit, and with his LD weapon, he can't stop the enemies from doing any form of damage. Now, if you guys would like to skip ahead, there will be timestamps down below in the time frame or in the comments. Those of you sticking around, let's get into it. So first and foremost, keep in mind that it is possible that some of these abilities or debuff or buff names can change on the global side. So I'll probably just try to refer to them as their skill 1 buff or debuff, or skill 2 buff or debuff. But if I do call them by their name, just keep in mind it is possible for the names to change. So skill 1, Electropod. 10 uses. It's going to be an AoE Thunder Brave hits with HP attacks with 50% HP splash. Potency is at 50% per Brave hit. That's kind of that's mediocre. Attacking a single target is increased Brave damage by 60%, and if you are hitting a weakness damage, which you should be doing often, this is going to increase the Brave damage done by 35%, and this will inflict a debuff called Numb on all the targets. So Numb is inflicted for 4 turns, and what this is going to do, this is going to decrease the physical attack or physical resist on the target by 40%. Now, there are 3 damage types in the game. You either have melee, ranged, or magic. Physical covers melee and range, so this covers 2/3 of the damage types in the game. This is going to help shut down those other 2. When it comes to magic, Reno doesn't really do much for that. Now, also, that's what's a part of Numb is that when the enemy uses any form of physical brave attack, this is going to delay that target by 2 turns. Once per turns, counters do not count. Just with this debuff alone, he's going to come in very handy against physical enemies or reduce the enemy's physical resistance, so he will fit nicely in physical team compositions. Skill 2, Electric Dance. More Thunder Brave hits with HP attacks followed by more Brave hits plus HP attack, hitting at about 40% Brave potency per hit. You're going to increase the Brave damage done by 40% when you're hitting a weakness. Now, this will grant Turk Strike Captain, name can change on the global side, to Reno. Now, Turk Strike Captain, it is a buff on Reno for 8 turns, and what this is going to do, this is going to increase his own attack by 20%, his own max Brave by 40%, further boost his Thunder Enhance by 20%, and this can be further improved. The actual buff can be improved with the C50, which is going to increase max Brave and attack by 10% while it is active, or with his artifact passive, name can change on global, Consummate Professional Boost, which is going to further improve his max Brave and attack by 5% while the buff is active. And when Reno is at EX plus 3 out of 3, this will grant him access to his Brave attack plus HP attack plus. So this buff primarily just increases his own damage. Reno's additional ability, what this is going to do for Reno for 3 turns is any debuffs that he inflicts himself onto the targets are going to be extended by 2 turns. So Numb from his skill 1 is going to go from 4 turns to 6 turns. Turk Light, his EX ability debuff, is going to go from 6 turns to 8 turns. But this does not work on his LD ability debuff, because as soon as the enemy axe inflicts some form of damage, that debuff will be removed, canceled, or dispelled, and we're going to talk about that when we talk about his LD ability. So use this when you want to make sure the enemy has said debuffs a little bit longer on them. Reno's call action Electro Prod. He's going to come in, he's going to do thunder damage, and he will inflict numb on all the targets for 2 turns. With his crystal passive 80, this is going to increase the overflow to 120%, and numb is extended by 2 turns. Reno's EX ability Turk Light. Now this is at a normal speed. This is going to do AoE brave hits followed by 100% AoE HP attack. This is going to be hitting at 40%. Brave potency per hit. If you're targeting a single target, this is going to increase the brave damage done by 60%. And with the passes, if you're hitting the weakness, this is going to increase the brave damage done by 20%. Now, this is going to inflict Turk's Light on all the targets. Now, something to note is that EX plus 2 out of 3 when the quest starts, this will grant him his Turk Strike Captain, his second ability buff, right off of the bat. And when the battle starts or the wave starts, this will inflict Turk Light on all the targets. Now, Turk Light, that is a 6-turn debuff that is going to further decrease the enemy's attack by 20%, while also decreasing their defense by 20%. This will also inflict thunder resist down on said target, just allowing Reno to bypass any melee resist stages since he will be hitting the target's weakness, further boosting his own damage also. Reno's bonus sphere, you are going to receive an E-type bonus sphere, so when you break the target, this will reduce all enemies' physical attack by 15% for 3 turns, just really keeping to that physical niche. Finally, Reno's last ability, that is going to be his LD ability Pyramid. He has 4 uses of this. AoE brave hits followed by 100% AoE HP attack. Brave potency is hitting at 70% per brave hit. If you're targeting a single target, this will increase the brave damage done by 60%. Now, this is going to remove 1 buff from all the targets, which is pretty nice, and this will inflict Pyramid on all the targets. What Pyramid is going to be doing is that said target cannot deal any form of brave or HP damage, aka 0 damage, or they cannot inflict any form of debuff. Now, if an enemy does use a brave and HP attack or tries to inflict a debuff, again, that's going to be reduced to 0. This will then cancel Pyramid. This is why you cannot stack this up on top of his additional ability, because the instant that an enemy does one of these actions, Pyramid is removed. So this is a nice way to shut down some bosses, some enemies. If your party members are in trouble, it buys you some time in order to react to what the bosses are about to do. Reno 7-star armor, which has the tactics keystone passives. This is going to decrease all the enemies int brave, max brave, and attack by 10% and further decrease their defense by 28%. And this will increase Reno's own held in HP damage limit caps by 15%, allowing him to go all the way up to 114,998. So if you want more debuffs on the targets, this wouldn't be a bad pickup for Reno. Cons for Reno is that he is a physical niche unit. Units that will primarily benefit from Reno are going to be units that do either melee or ranged damage. When it comes to magic attackers, they're not going to be hitting as hard because Reno only reduces their physical damage by 40%. There is still the defense down from his armor and from Turk Light, which is going to be up to 40% defense down, but there's still that additional 40% physical defense down, so your magic units aren't going to be hitting as hard. Now, again, if you're up against magic units, then Reno isn't going to be used to his fullest potential, because you won't be able to delay the target because they are not inflicting any form of brave attack, so they're not going to be delayed by 2 turns. And also keep in mind that Thunder Absorb can be problematic with Reno, because that means you won't be able to use them for said content, because his abilities do thunder damage. He does enhance himself with thunder, so he will be completely locked out of said stage right alongside Lightning. They can both sit on the bench next to Zell. All right, friends, now we're at that portion of the video. Are they worth it? Is Reno worth your precious tickets and or gems? Now, I did want to bring this up, friends. I will be trying something new with my Are They Worth It videos going forward. Be sure to let me know what you guys think about this system right after I explain it. Now, the reason why I want to try something new is because just going forward in the Lufenia era, the way it's going to work is just as long as you can make said units work on said team compositions, that's where it's truly at. Because when it comes to chaos content, almost anybody can do chaos content. So what I want to try to focus on the theme of my videos is, are they worth it, and how worthy are they all the way up to the pity? So I did break this down into 5 different categories. So runaway, said unit is outdated, they're utter trash, or they're just a bad unit to invest in. Skippable, they have a nice idea when it comes to their kit, but you really need to build around them to make them work. Somewhat worthy is that they have a good kit, but they either lack in something or others can fill that role, so you don't necessarily have to pull for them. If you don't have units that can fill that role, then it might be a good idea to invest in that unit. Worthy is that unit is good overall. They can fit into a lot of team compositions. They're good, but they're not broken. And of course, pity is that unit has an amazing kit. They bring a lot to the team. They can do a lot to the team, and they can fit in almost any team composition as long as they are not resisted on set content. All right, friends, so we're gonna try Lids' worth a meter. I don't know. I might change the damn name. I might switch the wording of this going forward. But again, let me know what you guys think about this going forward. That being said, the Reno banner, is Reno worth your tickets and or gems? Now again, Reno is a good physical unit for physical team compositions or to help shut down physical bosses. Being able to reduce the enemy's physical defense by 40% will allow your melee and range units to do more damage. Magic units are not going to benefit from that as much. The main benefits from that are from Reno's 7-star armor and from his Turk Light, which is going to in total decrease the enemy's defense by 40%, but they do not benefit from the physical defense down. So primarily, Reno ideally is used against physical bosses or in physical team compositions. Reducing the enemy's physical attack for physical enemies will help to keep your party members alive or just reduce the amount of damage they do towards your party members. So 40% physical attack down on top of, again, with his armor and Turk Light, 30% attack down is going to help your party members receive less damage. Him being able to delay the enemies when they inflict any form of brave damage, any form of melee or range damage, they're going to get delayed by 2 turns, once per turn. Magic units will not get delayed because they are not doing physical damage. Unless they have physical damage built into their kit, physical brave damage, but if they have both of them, then it's like 50-50 depending on what they use. But again, if they use magic, they will not benefit from that numb debuff. And of course, as you see, he is alongside Lightning, so he is a great unit to pair up with Lightning because Lightning herself does physical type damage, so they go perfectly well together until the boss absorbs Lightning, then put him right on the bench. His LD will stop the enemies from inflicting any form of brave or HP attack, and this will remove one buff from the enemy, so that does come in handy. This will also stop the enemies from inflicting any kind of debuffs, but keep in mind that we also have other units that can actually do this too. So the verdict at the end of the day, so keep in mind that there is one free multi-draw on this banner, so if you do pick up his kit for free or even Lightning's burst weapon, hey, more power to you, congratulations. But for Reno, is he worthy of your resources? I'm going to say somewhat worthy of your resources. Now, although he is a good unit for physical compositions or physical bosses, I would say if you have other units that fill similar roles, that you don't necessarily need Reno. And I got some few examples. Camelot, who is actually, his banner is out live right now. Camelot can also delay, Camelot can paralyze, and he can also reduce the enemy stats. Gabranth, now although Gabranth can't fully stop the enemies from acting, kind of like Camelot's paralysis or Reno's LD, will increase your party members' amount of HP damage dealt to that target, and he also has debuffs built into his kit. And Gabranth has the capabilities of resetting enemies' break status while breaking them, just further delaying them by an action. If you have Spoony Bard on your team compositions, aka Edward puts the enemies to sleep for 5 turns. The enemy can't not act for 5 turns, completely shutting them out. Unless you attack them, then the turn counter goes down. But once that sleep is done, once said unit wakes up or that debuff expires, they're going to be delayed by a turn. But Spoony Bard can also decrease the enemy's stats, and he is also a stat buffer. Raijin, who has been an excellent budget-friendly unit who boost your party members' physical attack, so melee and ranged. Magic units won't benefit as much from Raijin. He does have HP healing built into his kit, and he does have an AoE paralysis, shutting down set targets, again, if they don't resist paralysis or debuffs. And finally, Emma-Detalion, who just absolutely deletes turns and has all forms of debuffs built into her kit. So I would say if you have any of those units, then you don't necessarily need Reno. Now, when it comes to Reno's Lufenia, I did go ahead and look to see what players use in terms of team compositions. For the Lufenia boss, now the Lufenia boss needs to have 3 debuffs in order to stop the special counter, and if it is the same on as it was on JP, the boss will be resistant to HP Disable, Terror, and Mistbind. Mistbind is a debuff that the Lufenia boss will inflict. That means you can't throw it back with Yuffie. Now, some of the teams used for this Lufenia were Lightning, Gladio, and Edward. Lightning, Reno, and Warrior of Light. Lightning, Gladio, and Shantoto. And again, Shantoto's another unit who can completely stop the enemies from moving with her LD, AoE paralysis. Lightning, Emma-Detalion, Raijin. Lightning, Ardent, and Raijin. And one player even used Shantoto, Gladio, and Reno, not even using Lightning on their team compositions. But a lot of these players did bring Reno as a friend support. So hopefully that gives you ideas for your team compositions, but it also shows you that you don't necessarily need Reno as long as you can fill those roles. All right, friends, so this is what I believe Reno is worth of your resources. And again, let me know down below in the comments what you guys think of Lids' Worth a Meter. I might change the name. That sounds cheesy as hell to me right now, but it's the only thing I could come up with. All right, friends, that is it for this video, friends. I want to thank you guys for watching my Are They Worth It covering Reno. Be sure to let me know down below what you guys think about Reno overall, and what do you guys think about that, the Worth Meter. Gosh, I really need to change the damn name. What do you guys think? You guys, I think Worth a Meter is okay. It's a little cheesy, but it's okay. Me personally, I am a fan of Final Fantasy VII. I do like the characters. I do like the Turks. So I am going to throw resources. I'm going to throw primarily tickets on Reno's banner. I want to say maybe around 200 tickets for Reno's EX weapon, LD weapon, and in hopes to pick up Lightning's burst weapon along the way. But I will say, if I don't get Reno's kit when those 200 tickets are done, then I'm not going to be sad, because I do have other units to fill his role on my team compositions. All right, friends, so again, me personally, around 200 tickets. If I don't get it, then it is what it is. I will just wait until his lost chapter. All right, friends, so again, all those wonderful comments down below, and until next time, friends, good luck and have a good one.